Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for this virtual training on 2022 holiday shopping outlook and trends. In this live training, we will cover consumer shopping trends for the 2022 holiday season, and we'll also identify what your local business can do to capture your share. In 2020, holiday shopping revenue saw challenges, and in 2021, we saw those numbers peak to an all-time high. Yet, consumers purchased gifts and holiday items differently than in prior years. So in 2022, will we continue to see the trend of buy online, pick up in store? Is your business online? Well, we're excited you're here for this interactive training to discuss these trends and specific strategies that you can implement for your best holiday season yet. Before I introduce myself, I just want to go over a couple of housekeeping items. First, we want to extend our thanks to Sandy Springs for providing this training complimentary to businesses within the community. This is an investment that the city is making on your behalf. So we thank you for joining this. Also, this training will be recorded. So don't feel like you have to take notes or write down, a bunch of tips or strategies. We will be providing this recording and the slide deck to all of you that attended, and also to the city in case there are others that want to review this information after the fact. Last thing I'll note is that our chat box is open. So if you're joining us virtually and you have any questions or want to share any thoughts or insight, please feel free to do that in the chat box throughout this training. It will not be disruptive at all. If you do that at any point, we will also have some time for questions and answers at the end. But again, feel free to interject your thoughts or questions as we go along. We're really excited that you're here and we want this to be fun and interactive as well as informative. So I want to take a minute to first introduce myself and our company. My name is Jen Gregory, and I'm the president of Downtown Strategies at our company, Retail Strategies. My background is in downtown revitalization and community development. I've been working with cities and their small businesses for about 15 years now. I'm coming to you live from Starkville, Mississippi, so not too far from where you guys are in Georgia, but our company is based in Birmingham, Alabama. We have offices throughout the Southeast and really are pleased to be able to provide this training and future trainings that the city of Sandy Springs has invested in to you and your businesses throughout the upcoming year. Real quick, want to talk about our partnership here. We, again, are grateful to the city of Sandy Springs for investing in this training. And this is not the first, or this is not the only training that you will have access to. We have partnered with the Economic Development Division and are going to be able to provide topical trainings throughout this year to the business community. So look for information and announcements from Caroline Davis within the Economic Development Department as we bring you future opportunities for joining with your fellow business members for this training. And again, look for the recording that will be coming out. And then finally, just briefly about our company. We are a community development consulting firm, Retail Strategies, based in Birmingham, Alabama, with offices, again, as you see, throughout the Southeast and one in Washington as well. And we provide services to communities, municipalities, chambers, and economic development agencies that range from retail, downtown revitalization, and small business support. This service was really born out of the pandemic. We talked to hundreds of cities and thousands of businesses that reported that they were looking for training and technical assistance on elevating their business operations. So hopefully you fit into that category. And again, really appreciate you joining us. So today we are talking all about the holidays, and I don't know about you, but it feels a little early to be talking about the holidays here in October. But as we will talk about today throughout this training, holiday shopping has already begun. In 2020, consumers kind of kept that festive spirit strong despite lockdowns and store closings due to COVID. Retailers, brands, and marketers made that possible by expanding and improving commerce experiences to meet their consumers' growing needs. In 2021, New problems threaten the holiday season, as you all remember, with supply chain challenges and really access to goods that you are looking for. But again, that industry rose above, with the National Retail Federation saying, quote, despite supply chain problems, rising inflation, labor shortages, and the Omicron variant, retailers delivered a positive holiday experience to pandemic fatigued customers and their families. And I think we can all relate to that. This year, the upcoming peak season faces some of the same challenges as last year's, along with a few new ones, as gas prices rise and inflation brings fears in some places of a recession. But history tells us that consumers won't let the problems of the day take away from their moments of joy, and that the brands and retailers like you that they rely on will not let them down. So let's dive right in. This chart is a description of overall retail sales throughout the United States over the last several years. So want to note that this does not depict just holiday sales, but actual overall annual sales. And what we see is that there has been growth, tremendous growth. So even before the pandemic, we saw an average of, 1.5% to 2% growth in retail sales year over year. So in 2019, we saw a 3% growth from 2018. In 2020, even with what many feared was going to be a very difficult year for retail because of shutdowns and lockdowns and restrictions, we still saw a little over 0.5% growth year over year from 2019 to 2020. But then fast forward to 2021, and with all of that stimulus money floating through the economy, we saw huge gains, 8.5% growth from 2020 to 2021. And this year, even though last year was a record year, more spending than we've ever seen, we are still expecting to see year over year growth of about 7% this year, as opposed to last year. So really the takeaway here is that despite many of these economic challenges, consumers are still buying. Even with inflation and gas prices and challenges and worries within their pocketbooks, they're still spending money. And so let's take a look at what this means for the holidays. And so when we think about those projections, good news is that even with inflation and challenges, the big prediction this year is that holiday retail sales are likely to increase another 4 to 6% in 2022 as compared to 2021. And that's according to Deloitte's annual holiday retail forecast, which is really widely accepted and accurate within this industry. Overall, Deloitte's retail and consumer products practice projects holiday sales will total $1.45 to $1.47 trillion during the November to January timeframe. And so when we talk about holiday sales throughout, the next 40, 50 minutes or so, that's really what we're talking about. November 1st through January 1st is what we consider to be the holidays. And so you can see that from 2018, 2019, even 2020, we saw incremental growth. That bar is slightly raising, but then in 2021, huge gains. 2022, still seeing that incremental growth. And so this is really, really positive and really a good takeaway. And what we'll talk about throughout this training is that small businesses really are the ones that we project will see gains for various reasons. But also, we can't talk about holiday sales without talking about e-commerce. And we're going to detail that pretty heavily today because this is something that has happened post-pandemic, and we believe it is here to stay. And that is that while people are spending more money, they're certainly incrementally spending more money online. And so what can you and your business do to really take a piece of that? And so Deloitte also forecasts that e-commerce sales will grow by 12 to 14% year over year during the 2022 holiday season. And this will likely result in e-commerce sales reaching between about $260 and $264 billion this season. 3 in 4 US adults, that's about 74%, plan to spend the same or more money this year on holiday shopping as they did last year. The average US adult plans to spend $1,041 this holiday season, and 83% of millennials plan to spend the same or more this year on holiday shopping as well. And so we're going to talk also about generations and what those demographics look like and kind of what they mean for you. So we know that shopping, for the holidays is going to be up this year, but we also know that shopping and consumers in general are continuing to change how they do business. So on this slide, we are looking at how online shopping is making up a bigger piece of the pie each year, but it's not detrimental, right? This is incremental. And so let's look at 2019. Of all retail sales, we saw about 11.5% of those were done online. And this is looking at holiday sales in general. So previously we looked at overall retail sales. Now we're looking at just the holidays. And those holiday shopping percentages for online are higher than the rest of the year. So again, incremental. We saw 2019, about an 11.5% of holiday sales were done online. 2020, that grew to 17%. 2021, we're expecting that to be, 18% or so. Again, incremental change, but certainly something to take note of, and really important that small businesses take a piece of that and get online in some way so that they too are eligible for that ever increasing piece of the pie. And we'll talk about how to do that here in just a moment. But first, we do need to talk about in 2022 how the consumer is changing and what those trends are coming out of the pandemic. And the first is one that we've mentioned and we will continue to discuss, and that is a new omni-channel normal has emerged. And so if you haven't heard the term omni-channel, you will hear it from us throughout all of our trainings that we do this year. And really that means a bricks and clicks approach. That means that retailers have a brick and mortar, but they also have an online presence in some form or fashion. And so this omni-channel norm has emerged with in-store and e-commerce both experiencing growth. And I think that's something really positive. We always hear about online shopping is increasing. People do so much shopping online. But what we know is that really out of all online shopping, only about out of all retail sales, only about 15 to 20% is done online, depending what category, what time of year, and what sector. So while that number is increasing, people overwhelmingly still prefer to do their shopping in store, but really it's essential that businesses have both. So this omni-channel has become the new norm, and we're seeing growth both in-store shopping and online. People are out and about, they're happy to be out, and they are spending money. The second trend as it relates to consumers in 2022 is that consumers continue to prioritize experiences, including dinners out, family weddings, and vacations. And I think this is a real kind of change, if you will, from previous years where COVID and restrictions and lockdowns and fear kept people indoors. People are out, they're ready to do things, they're ready to see friends and family, but they're prioritizing experiences. And we're going to talk about this again as it relates to retail and especially millennials. And then finally, the last trend as it relates to consumers in 2022 is that as experiences pull consumers away from their homes, they are continuing to spend on fashion-forward sectors. And this is really important, especially for some of our local boutiques. 2020 was a hard year for boutiques, for clothing retailers in particular. People were staying home. They were wearing their loungewear. They were working from home. They weren't buying clothes for events and holiday parties and whatnot. But now they are. They're replenishing their wardrobes and again, focusing on experiences, new fashion, and really, ramping up their wardrobe. So this is another trend that is important for our small businesses, especially those that are local. And so looking at kind of the state of the consumer, let's next identify how that translates into anticipated holiday retail trends. And many of them are pretty obvious. They continue to pull forward from those consumer trends. So first, on the top left, we talk about inflation and how, as we know that inflation is impacting consumer wallets, bargain hunting is expected to be in full force this holiday season. And we're really going to talk about this when we outline our strategies for businesses, because this doesn't necessarily mean you need to slash your prices, but really what it means is that consumers are looking for value. And so that in part does mean lower prices, but in other ways, it means making their lives easier and convenience measures. So thinking about that and thinking about how there is potentially a finite budget for consumers this year. And so how can they fit all of their gifts and their wish lists within that budget? Second, on the top right, we see that holiday shopping is slated to begin early again this year, but even earlier than last year. And so some of the season's retail growth is expected to be pulled forward in October. Well, here we are. We're at the end of October, and we are already seeing holiday shopping ads. We saw Amazon Prime Days. Target did some of their early Black Friday promotions, and this is really a reaction to these trends. They know that consumers have a finite budget. They know that consumers are out looking for deals, looking for items now, and they're going to shop for the best price and the best experience. And so when we look at these trends, it's always interesting to see that the national retailers are, generally a couple steps ahead of that. So that is one reason why we are bringing you this training, is so that you too can be ahead of the game and start mobilizing your holiday plans. On the bottom left, we see that consumers may be adding revamped wardrobes to their wish lists as social events and platforms have many dressing to impress. And I think this is a trend that we are seeing as a result of kind of the state of the consumer. As we detailed previously, companies are having their holiday parties. Fundraisers and galas are happening again this year. And as we mentioned, weddings, travel, family events, people are out and about, they're doing kind of getting back to their normal activities, and they're revamping their wardrobes as a result. And then on the bottom right, from the return of holiday doorbusters to new brick and mortar collaborations, retailers are expected to drive consumers back into stores. Last year was all about online. There was still a lot of fear with the Omicron variant and some, fears and late dispatch of vaccines and whatnot. People still did a lot of their shopping from home. This year, not only will consumers be ready to shop in the brick and mortar, but retailers are encouraging that. They're driving that traffic. They are incentivizing in-store shopping. So this is really something for you to be thinking about as well. So now that we've detailed trends and we know that people are going to be shopping earlier, they are going to be on a budget, they're going to be looking for deals and value, and that they're happy to be back in the brick and mortar, but they are going to be getting inspired from digital promotions and campaigns. Now it's time to really take this information and develop your strategy as a small business and potentially as a retailer, maybe a restaurant or even a service provider. So let's detail several strategies that we have that we encourage you to implement as you can. And I think before we get into that, it's really important for us to note that we have an hour with you, to share these trends and to share these strategies. We will be sharing this deck and the recording with you, but to manage expectations, we encourage you to take one of these strategies and implement. If one strategy can be implemented into your holiday practices, we consider that a success. And we hope you will too. So, we really want to encourage you not to get overwhelmed and not to feel like you need to implement all of these. Certainly everyone's capacity is different. So just managing that, we hope that you'll be inspired and that you can potentially implement, one strategy to help you with your holiday sales, and that you will see measured benefits. So as we go into this, that is our hope for you. So our first strategy that we're going to talk about is sales and discounts. And so, heading into this peak period, some retailers are still facing inventory imbalances, maybe too much inventory of products that were hot sellers during the pandemic, and now consumers have moved on. So maybe that's things like loungewear, masks, mask holders, whatnot. And then also maybe not enough inventory of products that reflect current consumer demand, like we were talking about, wardrobe and fashion. So to correct this imbalance, we are going to see more retailers return to discounting this holiday season. But with shoppers expecting inflation to continue through the season, they're looking to spend earlier than ever, and they may not stretch their budgets all the way through the traditional holiday selling season. So the retailers who have the best chance to appeal to consumers will roll out their stronger promotions earlier rather than waiting until December. So let's really think about this and unpack this. Obviously, we know that many consumers will have a budget. So as we talked about earlier in the trends part of this training, the average American consumer is expected to spend about $1,000 throughout this holiday season. Some will spend much more, some will spend less, but on average, about $1,000. So if they know that that's their budget and they have a list of items that they are looking to buy for their children, their family, their friends, maybe themselves, they're going to be looking early in order to fit everything into that budget. And if they can check off all of the items on their list early, they won't have the need to even shop in December. And so this is really something that we are highly, highly encouraging our small businesses to do, is just get started early, much earlier than normal. Again, we've worked in about 110 communities with their small businesses as well. And on average, we see the holiday promotions begin after Thanksgiving. Usually that first week in December, we start to see holiday open house events, Christmas parades, but perhaps this season that may be too late. So we're encouraging you to get started early, and that may mean, transforming your store into a winter wonderland, or maybe that means just getting started with digital promotions and campaigns to your shoppers. We also know that small business owners are on a budget themselves, and so slashing prices, may not be the answer. So as I mentioned earlier, not only are shoppers looking for the best prices, they're looking for value. So how can you make their lives easier? And we'll talk about several strategies throughout this section, but items or amenities like gift wrapping, curbside pickup, and even creating gift guides online early to help your shoppers, check off those items on their list. All of these measures add value to the shopping experience, and they increase brand loyalty. So we'll talk about each of those in a bit, but number one, sales and discounts, or creating value. The second one, and we'll harp on this again, is that early shopping. This year, we do believe that consumers will demonstrate less interest in the traditional shopping days, and those days have now become weeks. So Black Friday is Black Friday week. It's the week of Thanksgiving. It may even be the whole month of November, as we've already seen some of those early Black Friday sales trickling out. Cyber Monday is now Cyber Week. Holiday shopping will start even earlier to avoid potential supply issues. And retailers that get ready early will be the winners. 76% of US consumers plan to shop for deals on Black Friday, and they're expected to spend about $158 billion, during the holiday shopping season early. Shopper budgets remain fairly significant, with Black Friday budgets at around $574. And so almost half of the estimated holiday budget is expected to be spent around Black Friday or that Black Friday week. To help save money, consumers are shopping earlier. Almost half, 47%, of shoppers plan to start buying their gifts between September and mid-October. We are past that date, friends. And so many shoppers have already started looking. Maybe they've even started buying. 36% say that they plan to shop even earlier, starting in early September. 3 out of 10 consumers have begun shopping as of September, and 70% expect to start before Thanksgiving. So if you are not rolling out your holiday deals and merchandise and promotions and campaigns until after Thanksgiving, you are potentially missing 70% of consumers. I think most of you are probably already thinking about that. You're already potentially mobilizing for your holiday shopping promotions and campaigns. But if you're not, we urge you to do so. It's super important, again, that we don't miss out, that you don't miss out on 70% of these shoppers. So now let's look at e-commerce and what this is going to mean this holiday season. According to Deloitte and some of our other economic research, 94% of shoppers will be turning to expert content online to seek help navigating rising costs. So what does that mean, expert content online? They're looking to influencers. They're looking on Instagram. They're looking for gift guides. They're looking for shopping lists. They are looking for those bloggers that identify where you can get the hot goods and where for the least amount of money. These are all important elements because what this means for consumers is that they are going online to help them this holiday season, period. And if you're not online in any way, you're really missing out on this opportunity. 56% of shoppers want to know where to get a good deal. 40% want expert product reviews to get the exact product for their needs. And so what does this mean? Expert product reviews. This means, influencers. This means if you're a clothing boutique, having your staff model the clothing online in a video, talking about the material of the clothing, showing how to style it. These are elements that all small businesses can implement. Maybe it is maybe you're a home store, maybe you're a gift shop, and you are selling, Christmas decor or door hangers or wreaths. Your shoppers want to see those styled on actual homes, in actual homes, on doors. And so really taking the product out of the store and showing the use of it is driving traffic this year. And what's the best place to do that? Well, it's certainly social media. Retailers who have invested in and embrace social media will benefit from social commerce, drawing attention to holiday shopping campaigns. This is the biggest single digital trend that we are seeing. 87% of Gen Z shoppers expect to be inspired by social media for holiday gifts. And so retailers who expand their range of shopping channels will be winners. I don't know about any of you, but you've probably already started to look a little bit about, online, on Instagram, maybe even on TikTok, what those kind of holiday trends are in terms of retail merchandise. Not only are you hoping to sell merchandise in your store, but you're looking to check off items on your own list. I know I'm looking for items as well for my children, for my family, for my husband. And so I'm trying to get inspired. I'm trying to think about what can I buy them this year? And I am certainly turning to Instagram for that. I'm already seeing so much content out there from influencers in particular about certain gifts. And so really getting ahead of that is necessary. And for a small business, you are perfectly poised to do that. People know you. They want to shop with small businesses for the experience of doing business with their neighbors. And so they want to see you and your staff live, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, showing the merchandise that you have, pairing it up with other items, and helping them make this holiday season easier. From product details and photography, video, and shipping information, now is really the time to make sure that your e-commerce site is up to date. If you have one, maybe you don't have an e-commerce or a Shopify site, and maybe you are just getting started with shoppable posts on Facebook and on Instagram. Really building out the profile and the product details on your shoppable posts is essential. And as we mentioned, video is increasingly effective. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, their holiday marketing guide reported that 55% of shoppers were inspired to buy gifts based on online videos. 55%. So this is probably our single biggest recommendation in this entire training, and that is to get video of your products and get that video online. Maybe you don't have a professional videographer. That's okay. Do the best you can. An iPhone takes beautiful video. Get a tripod, order a tripod for $15 on Amazon, and really dig into how you can bring your products to life. It's also worthwhile to ensure that your online presence offers information about your business and how you got started. We talked about shoppers looking for good deals and looking for value. This year, customers are looking to shop small, and they're wanting to support businesses that reflect their values. So providing an origin story on your website is a great way to appeal to new consumers. Make sure that not only does your website and your social media profiles share information about what you sell, but also about your business as a whole. Also, we'll give you a tip about Facebook. On your Facebook page, the About section is the most highly optimized section on your entire Facebook page for Google. And so many retailers have about 2 sentences on that About section on their Facebook page, and that is the most searchable part. So we would encourage you today to go to your Facebook page and truly type out a narrative, 5 to 6 paragraphs about your business, how you got started, how long you've been open, where you're located, what you offer, what some of the promotions are that you're doing. All of these items, these paragraphs, this text is searchable by Google. So think about keywords that someone may Google if they're looking to buy what you sell. Maybe you're a men's store. So making sure that men's clothing, men's self-care products, men's shoes, men's travel wear, all of these things are listed in your About Us section because that is what is most searchable. So again, really adding value to the customer and sharing what your business is all about, what's important to you, what organizations you support in the community. All of these things are searchable and will really set you apart from others. So big takeaways here: make your About section on your Facebook page much more robust. And second, start experimenting with video and displaying your products live so that people can really see what you have and why they need those items. 86% of consumers say that yes, they will be shopping online the same or more than pre-pandemic, but that doesn't mean that they are shunning in store. And so we've talked a lot about digital, and we're going to continue talking about that, but in-store experiences, really draw shoppers in. We're talking holiday doorbusters, pictures or cookies with Santa, really creating an experience and a reason for people to come do their holiday shopping with you. Bricks and clicks is the name of the game as it relates to omni-channeling. And so in 2021, last year during the holiday season, for the first time since online retail sales were tracked, physical US retail growth outpaced e-commerce. So we talked about that earlier, that both in-store and online shopping is growing. Last year, sales in physical stores increased 18.5% from the previous year, while e-commerce grew 14%. So again, very, very important that you have a focus on both. Retailers that have an omni-channel presence have the greatest advantage, with 54% of consumers saying that they're likely to look at a product online and then buy it in store, and an almost identical number, 53%, are likely to look at a product in store and then buy it online. People are really looking to inform their purchasing journey through online commerce and through experiences in the store. So how can you do this? How can you inspire people? How can you encourage them to make purchases? Well, the number one way that we are recommending this holiday season is one that you are probably very familiar with, and that is gift guides. Gift guides can be a powerful sales tool this time of year, especially since 90% of American consumers reported that they are willing to try new brands this holiday season. They're looking for something new. They're ready to try something different, and your business is no different. This appetite for discovery really allows you the opportunity to surprise consumers by introducing them to unique gifts, items, clothing, products from your store. An easy way to showcase these products and others is by putting together a holiday gift guide. And I think you all know what this is, but essentially you are putting together a graphic of recommended hot holiday gift items this season. And many stores and influencers will create multiple gift guides for different sectors. So maybe there's one for teens, one for women, one for men, one for the traveler, one for the tech guru, one for the outdoors person. Whatever products you have, group them into categories and create gift guides. And we recommend not only featuring items from your store, but also others, really in the spirit of helping consumers, not just self-promotion. So while you're certainly promoting your own products, think about another retailer in Sandy Springs that aligns with you. Maybe it's a restaurant, maybe you're a home store and you are selling, serving platters and stoneware and pottery. And maybe you want to promote a gift card to a restaurant that complements that well. Really thinking outside the box, but creating these gift guides early, posting them online, and making sure that there are links to purchase these items, including yours. Send them back to your online store, or simply, if you don't have that online store, recommend that they call your store to purchase these items, and that you'll gift wrap them and bring them curbside. Very, very important. And really thinking about a way that you can create content that is helpful to the consumer, that will inspire them, and also that will potentially bring them in store or encourage them, to purchase online. Which takes us to our next strategy, which is BOPIS, which stands for Buy Online, Pick Up in Store. This really took off like crazy in 2020 during the height of the pandemic. And what we have found is that it is really here to stay. While many consumers and customers are feeling safe in public spaces, hopefully for many, the pandemic is behind them. Some of our economic partners reported that consumers are really hanging on to the habits adopted during the pandemic, which includes that omni-channel shopping, and some of the convenience measures that resulted. 33% of global shoppers started and will continue to use the buy online, pickup in store option this holiday season. 32% say that they will continue to use curbside pickup, and 27% say that they will use buy now, pay later payment methods. I want to talk about both of these, really the curbside pickup and the buy now, pay later. Curbside pickup, certainly we have seen robust gains in this with national retailers, apps and online platforms that allow you to purchase items and select curbside pickup. We know that also, places, even small businesses with Shopify, can still use these same methods, these same curbside pickup elements, whether it's buying online and just calling the store that you're going to come ahead and pick up, or whether it's a true toggle on that Shopify website where you can select in-store or curbside pickup. Stores can offer this by running that merchandise out to the car. Call and we'll run it out to you. Really, these small businesses are best poised to do that. And then also the buy now, pay later is something that we really, really want to focus on. Almost 30% of folks are saying that they will use this. We know that inflation is a challenge, that people are on a budget. And so this opportunity is allowing people to stretch their budgets a little bit further this holiday season. And small businesses are perfectly poised to take advantage of this. Platforms like Affirm and Klarna are now partnering with Square and Shopify to offer this item on online sites. Again, perfect opportunity for small business. And we'd really encourage you to look at this, to consider this. The store, you will pay a small percentage to the platform, but it basically is a modern day layaway. It takes all of the purchases and breaks them into 4 installments, basically. So shoppers can perhaps purchase a larger amount of items and stretch their budget over, like I mentioned, 4 months. We're really starting to see small businesses gain from this. And so we would encourage you to take a look at that. Next is gift cards. And this is certainly something that is not new and no surprise, but we are seeing a resurgence this holiday season in gift cards. Nearly 6 in 10 shoppers would like to receive physical gift cards this season, topping the list of desired gifts. And nearly 6 in 10 expect to buy physical gift cards for their holiday gift giving plans. This is very, very important for that omni-channel presence as well, especially if your gift cards can be used online. This is a great convenience measure, but even if it's not, a great way for small businesses to put together some prepaid or kind of some pre-organized gifts. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. When it comes to the amounts customers are planning to load on their gift cards, 25% say that $25 to $30 is their preferred sum, which is a figure that remains unchanged from 2021. We also know that 20% of people plan to load about $50 to $100 on gift cards, which is down about 23% from last year, and 19% plan to load between $40 and $50 on gift cards, which is also down about 20% from last year. So what does this mean? It really means that the steady sweet spot for gift card purchases is in that $25 to $30 range. So how can you use this as a strategy? Well, we've talked about convenience. We know that people are looking for convenience items, and they're looking for their lives to be made easier this holiday season. They're also wanting to stick to a budget. So we are recommending that stores pre-wrap gift cards with other items in the store for a ready-to-go gift. Say you're a coffee shop. Perhaps you can take a bag of coffee that's locally roasted and tie with a nice branded tag, a $15 gift card to your store. Wrap it all up with some ribbon, and this is a ready to go gift that people can purchase. It's convenient. They can do their shopping with you. It's already wrapped up, and it's fulfilling some of these trends that consumers have said they will fulfill this holiday season. Maybe you are a gift store. Taking a local, a candle maybe that you offer and attaching a gift card to that, or putting a number of small items together with a gift card. Again, these are great for teacher gifts, gifts for Secret Santas and office parties, or even just a hostess gift, having these on hand. So again, taking these strategies, convenience, experience, curbside pickup, and start promoting this on your social media that you have ready to go gifts, gift cards, $30 gifts, $50 gifts, ready to go. Consumers can call your store, you'll run them out to them, simplifying their holiday experience. This is a no-brainer, and we highly recommend this. Our last strategy that we want to detail before we go into our question and answer section is communication. This is something that is a pretty simple implementation, but we have seen really, really fall short. So a couple of different things. First, what are your hours going to be? Decide that, post them, and stick to that. Don't expect people to know that they can shop with you. Don't expect people to know what you offer. Really taking these strategies of making the consumer's lives easier, feed them the information that you want them to know. Your Google My Business page is yours. It's free. You need to update it. Your hours may have changed throughout the pandemic. Maybe you are going to be offering some late night shopping events. Post those online, communicate what you're doing this holiday season, what some of the amenities are. Are you gift wrapping? Do you offer curbside pickup? Do you have gift bundles ready to go? Are you offering gift cards? All of these things need to be communicated frequently throughout the holiday season. Similarly, thinking about when shoppers are going to be in store. We've talked a lot throughout this training about shopping early, and that people are going to be shopping early, that they're already starting. And that is certainly true. But inevitably, there are always going to be the last minute shoppers. And so 5 of the 10 busiest shopping days this holiday season are expected to be within 7 days of Christmas. Those are single shopping days. Number 2 is Super Saturday, December 17th, and number 3, the Friday before Christmas, which is December 23rd. So we are recommending that groups of retailers, could potentially come together and offer extra shopping hours, maybe on Super Saturday, December 17th. Work with your local businesses and everyone agree to stay open till 7 o'clock that Saturday. Or maybe it's Friday when you normally close at 5 p.m. Maybe you're going to stay open till 7 on December 23rd. Everyone come together, everyone have those same hours, and promote each other and that special shopping day. That really creates a shopping destination for your local residents in Sandy Springs and those in the adjacent areas. If they know that they can come to certain areas of the city and get every little last minute gift that they need because everyone's going to be open a couple hours late, this is a great way to capture kind of that remaining budget, those remaining budget dollars in people's pockets. So really deciding now what your plan of action is going to be for the holidays and communicating it. Make your profile description on your social media more robust. Holiday hours, and list what those are. List, we offer gift wrap, curbside pickup, gift cards, gift bundles. Really make sure that it's easy to shop with you. That's really what consumers are looking for. We have so many options these days, and it is somewhat simple to go online and find what you need. So really thinking about how can we create reasons and experiences for people to come in store to do business with you. And so we hope that some of these strategies are ones that can be implemented, that you can take and implement, maybe make your Facebook page more robust on that About Us section. Determine what your holiday hours are going to be. Print up some gift cards. Start displaying your products through video and create some holiday gift guides to really elevate your presence this holiday season. So that takes us through this training, and I really hope that you all were inspired and have some ideas. And now I would love to take some questions. We have about 10 minutes, and I'll be happy to stay on even longer with you. Please use the chat. And we already have one question that has come in. Please think of your questions and enter them in the chat. This first question is that we have a local dance studio, and the bulk of our revenue is from monthly membership. Any suggestions for successful trends for member-related services? Yes, absolutely. First, let's think about gift cards. Can a grandmother buy 6 months or a year worth of dance lessons for her granddaughters? I was a former dancer and have very fond memories of my dance studio. And so that's certainly a way that you can take advantage of some of these trends, is getting some of that revenue in now. So certainly offering those services bundled up. Go ahead and print that gift card, wrap it in a cute little cellophane bag, and maybe tie ballet slipper ornament to it so that gift is ready to go. Also think about merchandise. Dancers have a lot of needs as it relates to, obviously shoes, which is probably a little bit harder to get in stock, but also, tights and leotards and ballet skirts. And so what are some of those maybe fashion forward clothing items that your dancers may be hoping for, that parents and grandparents can purchase in store for their dance lover? Again, wrapping those up, ready to go, having them in store. Maybe it's even having some sweatshirts printed with your studio logo on it. I know most dancers are proud of the studio that they represent, and that's a great way to have some holiday revenue and stretch your brand as well. And also thinking about gift guides for the dancers, promoting what some of that merchandise is that they can buy from you, but also, giving moms and dads ideas of what to buy their dance lover from other locations, while still promoting what that merchandise is that you have, including, private lessons or gift certificates for lessons for the dancer in their life. Those are just some ideas that come to mind. We also have another question, great question about restaurants. How can restaurants capitalize on the rush of holiday shopping? And this is one where gift cards come into play, but certainly you can always offer your traditional gift cards. But during Black Friday, we really recommend our restaurants offer Black Friday pricing for their gift cards. So for example, maybe a $200 gift card would only cost me $150. A $100 gift card may cost me $75. A $50 gift card may cost me $60. So the more I spend, the more I save. This is a great way to offer value, but also really thinking about your corporate gifts. We would also recommend that these restaurants promote these gift card sales now to some of the corporations in Sandy Springs. Businesses are always looking to buy gifts for their clients, for their vendors, and they're looking for something local and easy. Maybe there is a restaurant that sells their own hot sauce or their own barbecue sauce that they're famous for, that they're known for. Can a local food kind of foodie box be put together that has that hot sauce, maybe some other products from local stores, and a $100 gift card, and the whole box costs you $100. So you're really adding value. This is something that we would recommend, but again, you've got to really promote it. Also, I have another great question. You guys have excellent questions. Please keep them coming. Next question is that I mentioned 87% of Gen Z shoppers finding inspiration on social media. Do you have suggestions or data on the best social media channels to spend on? Great question. And I think the first step is identifying who is your audience. We know that the average age in the Sandy Springs trade area is in the 30s to 40s year range. So that's really that millennial age group for the most part. Millennials are spending most of their time on Instagram. Some are trickling into TikTok. Your generations above, spend more time on Facebook. Your younger, your teens and your 20-year-olds are spending almost all of their time on TikTok and Snapchat. So it's really hard to please everyone, but I think you want to think about who is your customer? Who do you think buys from you most often? Or who are you hoping to inspire this holiday season? What generation of buyer? And meet them where they are. And so I think certainly Instagram is probably our biggest recommendation because that's where most millennials live, if you will, and they are the largest consumer group in America. They spend more money than any other demographic. So I think that's a great place to invest. And Facebook as well. Facebook is a great place for you to promote content, static content. If you build out these gift guides, post them on Facebook certainly and link out. Obviously you can go live on Facebook, and some people see great returns on that. Others not so much. So if you're looking to choose one, and that's what we would recommend if you're new to this, or if you're looking for one area to really ramp up and invest in, start there. Start with Instagram and maybe dip into TikTok a little bit. TikTok is great, but it does take a little bit more technical skill of making these videos, right? And using kind of all the different features. But we know that video is what is driving commerce. So TikTok is a great place to be. Instagram also, and certainly, Facebook will remain a place where about 50% of people land every day, multiple times a day. So it's not a one size fits all. Don't get overwhelmed and think you have to do it all. Where is your biggest following? Where do you have the most engagement for your business? That's a great place to really ramp up engagement, post questions, ask your consumers what's on their list this year. How can I help you this holiday season? Engagement is the key to a vibrant social media presence. Ask for questions, do a holiday giveaway. So really ramp up that engagement, but start where you have the biggest following and then maybe dip into one other channel would be our recommendation. And we have a question that may be a question for Caroline. Is there a way to get demographic data on families on the north end of Sandy Springs? That's certainly something that we can help with, but we have not pulled that together for Sandy Springs or for Caroline. Caroline, do you have anything? She says yes. Great. You guys have been so engaging, and I'd love to spend a little bit more time. Are there any other questions? Did you learn anything? Is there one thing that you're planning to implement? I'd love to know maybe what your biggest takeaway is, each of you, if you're willing to share. Okay, everyone's being a bit shy. Well, you see my email address is listed on the screen. Please reach out if you have additional questions or would like to continue the conversation. I'm so appreciative of you all being here with us, of you being engaged and asking questions. Please look for an email from Retail Strategies in your inbox. It may land in your spam, so please be looking for that over the next couple of days. It takes about 24 hours for us to pull down the recording from the cloud and edit it. So We'll be sending you, if you registered for this training, you will receive that recording and the slide deck directly in your inbox from us. Also, Caroline will receive all of those assets as well. So if you don't see it in your inbox, or if you miss it, or if you know of another business that could really benefit from this, please help us share these resources. Again, we want to thank Caroline Davis and the City of Sandy Springs for investing in the small business community in Sandy Springs. We appreciate that investment, and we are proud to partner with you. Look for more information about future trainings from us. And again, please reach out if you have other questions. We'd love to continue the conversation. For Retail Strategies, I'm Jen Gregory. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.